Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. And today I get to hang out with the homies together. We got a double feature coming. I've got Carlos Castro in the house, and I've got Vaughan Moore. Welcome, brothers, to the show.
Thanks for having us.
It's good to see you, man. All right, so interesting facts. We're going to start with interesting facts. We'll start with you, Carlos. You said you've been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for 14 years. Is that what you said?
Yeah, 14 years.
Tell us how well you can damage other people.
Oh man, I think the beauty of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is the more that you can damage somebody, the less you want to, right? So like I don't really keep it like that anymore. I think if anything, it's more how to neutralize certain things, right? Like the fact that somebody could be trying to punch me and I don't take any hits, that's amazing, right? Like it makes me so happy to know that, hey, I don't got to take any damage anymore. So I guess that's
Yeah.
it. It's like I don't take as much damage.
Awesome, dude. Yep. Is there anything specific that you've learned from
Oh, man,
that
patience,
discipline in your
right?
life?
It's really just patience, right? Like the mat doesn't lie, just like life doesn't lie, right? If you're not ready for an opportunity, it's going to show, right? That life doesn't lie, the mats don't lie, opportunities don't lie. So, yeah, if you're prepared, you'll be good. If you're not, you might struggle a little bit more than you need to.
Bro, I want to talk about that later. That is like very much in my download that I'm happening right now in my spiritual life. That's a big one. The mat doesn't lie. Are you ready for the opportunities? Are you ready?
Right,
Right?
right,
Because sometimes you think you are and you're not, and it'll leave
right,
you on your back.
right. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And Vaughn, interesting fact about you.
So I love to hike. I love to hike with my family. We live in an amazing place.
Yeah.
Every time I wake up, I look out my window, I see Pikes Peak.
Yep.
I'm in just awe. And so one time somebody asked me, well, so what's the best view that you've ever seen? And people were talking about, Italy or, various different places they've traveled. And I just said any 14er that I've ever been up of. And so I've been up 3. I have a list of 10. And if anybody wants to join me sometime, I'd love to go with you.
Dude, I love it, man. And tell me, same question for you. What have you learned from climbing 14ers?
Well, there's there's always something unexpected along the way. You never really
Yes.
know what you're going to hit, and we'll talk about this a little bit later because I have an analogy. But
Yeah.
when you start in the morning, you never know what the day is going to be like, and you never know what it's going to be like, that feeling when you get down to the bottom. So there's
Yeah.
always a excitement and joy along
Yeah.
joy in the journey.
I hear adventure in that.
Yes.
I love that word, adventure. I love applying it to like every single day,
Right.
like there are no normal days. There are no regular days. Every day is an opportunity for crazy things to happen. You just don't know it.
Right. Yeah.
All right, so let's jump into what the company, the Springs Leader, and can you tell me a little bit about that company, and then we're going to go into the story and get a little bit deeper. But like on a top level, what do people need to know about the Springs Leader movement?
Well, I'm going to just share a graphic here that I like to use as I talk about what we do. Carlos and I as a team, we desire to be the healthiest person, leadership-wise, and just as a holistic person. And so we teach people how to climb up to the top of mountains and get back down, not only personally, but also as your team.
Yes.
So when you're doing that, you want to be fit. You have to be healthy yourself.
Yeah.
And so you can't be an asthmatic and succeed very well. I mean, you can be an asthmatic, actually. There are lots of asthmatics that succeed in sports and other, but I mean, you can't be on oxygen, right? And really be able to take somebody up successfully. So you want to be
Sure.
fit to climb. You want to know the mountain, you and the route. So it's very important. That's Pikes Peak right there. There are a lot of different ways to get up that mountain, and it depends on the weather and the day sometimes, and what you want to accomplish, where you want to go, as to whether or not you're going to choose one over the other. You also want to be able to read the weather, and so this is analogous to leadership in business or in family or in life. I mean, you have to know your environment. You have to know when a storm is coming. Uh, you have to be able to see and read people in a way that you can communicate with them so that they can hear what you are saying. Not just that you are communicating something and transmitting, but that they can hear it too. You need to be able to encourage people and equip them and challenge them on their journey, whatever that journey is. You have to be able to know that what that journey is so that you can help them along the way. There's always the challenge, especially climbing, twisting an ankle or falling, along the way, or a rock slide. Especially in the wintertime, there are avalanches. We might get hurt. And so we need to know how to care for people along the way. We need to know the right questions to find out that information, because often people will hide their hurt. We need to be able to celebrate. A lot of life is, especially now in today's world, there's like, okay, well, so we've got this goal, and then you hit the goal, and then all of a sudden, less than 24 hours later, there's another goal there, and you have to start over. And so it's really, really important to celebrate when you get to the summit. But getting to the summit is actually only half the journey. So you have to ensure a safe return home. And that actually is where most deaths happen, on a mountain, and where often most people fall apart internally. They've achieved something tremendous, and then now they have to, come back down. They have to rest. They have to recharge.
Sure.
That's where people and teams often suffer. And so this is what the Springs Leader is designed to do: help you become the healthiest person you can be, and then multiply that throughout your team, at work, your team at home, your team in the community, at church, wherever you are.
All right. So this is awesome. So you're speaking to leaders, you're helping leaders get healthy. That's your clientele, that's your mission field, right? Those are the people that are coming to you. Now I want to ask you a little bit about each other, or about yourselves, because I met you years ago, and when I met you, I believe I met you together. y'all tend to come as a box set, like you've collaborated together as long as I've known you. And so I'd love to hear a little bit about how you both met and decided to work together on multiple projects over the years.
I'll let you go first, Carlos.
Right. Yeah, thanks. Okay, so let's see, 2022, I'm retiring from the United States Air Force after 22 years. And while I was working with one of our mutual friends, Mark, and when I retired, I came to Colorado Springs, and I was still doing stuff with Mark, and little did I know that Vaughn was knowing Mark as well, and we lived in the same city, and it just seemed so natural. We had been on a couple of meetings together, and he is the yin to my yang, right? I'm the yang to his yin, right? Like we are opposites. We attract. My weaknesses are his strengths. His blind spots are my strengths. So we really complement each other well.
Yeah. So can you tell me a little bit about those differing, how do you supplement each other, right? Like, how do you fill the gaps for each other? Help us understand, how you both work.
All right. Using our Springs Leader talk, right. And using our Sherpa talk, he's a guardian, right? So that means that he stands guard to all things that have structure, all things that flow well. He likes processes. He's a very pragmatic thinker, right? And for me, I'm a little bit more of a connector and a little bit more of a creative. And so like my brain and my mouth tend to work a little bit faster than processes happen, right? So sometimes I need somebody that's very logical to come through and be like, Carlos, you can't say stuff like that if you don't have a process. You can't say stuff like that if you don't have a way of making it happen. And I'm like, no, it's going to happen. I'm a dreamer, right? Like, I know that we can make it happen. So together, we make dreams come true in a process-oriented way, because if not, I would talk too fast. People wouldn't understand me, and they wouldn't ask the right questions. But Vaughn has the patience to say, hey, man, can you say that another way? right? Can you let me into your brain, because right now it's a little bit chaotic, and there's a beauty to my brain, but nobody gets to see the beauty unless Vaughn is there to help me translate it to where it's understandable by most.
Dang. Yeah. Yep.
I was just going to add on to that because, you know, there's often opportunities that are out there that I don't know about because I'm not out there talking. I'm not out there pressing flesh. I'm not out there weaving a dream of what people can actually accomplish. I'm, you know, sitting at my computer looking at a spreadsheet or doing a Gantt chart or some kind of a way to optimize an internal process. And so that's why we work so well together is that, yeah, sure, I bring some process, but he brings some energy, excitement, connection. He's a great storyteller, and he just connects with people. He's a collaborator.
Yep.
Just love working with Carlos.
Yeah, dude, I love it, man. I love it.
Bro.
When you're, and it's funny because it's so, I think, undervalued. Sometimes we see this happen where we see like fire and ice come together, and instead of like the ice puts out the fire or the fire like melts the ice, they both like come together and create something greater. And we see it happen. Like I see it happen sometimes, but I also think a lot of the times we're in a culture that thinks every person needs to be an island and that we should all have it inside of ourselves. And I believe that lie for a long time myself. Like, what's wrong with me? Because I'm probably more like Carlos, right? Like I'm more fire and chaos and like, you know what I mean? Like connection and like openness and like, oh, that sounds good. Oh, let's try that. Okay, whatever. And
Vaughn's
and
taken. Vaughn's taken. By the way, he's taken.
He's
don't,
taking. No,
mine.
it's all good, man. No, I got you, bro. I got you. I ain't trying to steal your counterpart. I actually have my own. Like I've got it at where I work. You know, Caleb is my director. Well, he's actually COO now of my organization. I'm the CEO. He's the COO, and we've had these moments where, you know, I feel so valued by Caleb because he's like, dang, Johnny, how do you do that? How do you do that? You know, like stuff that I'm just like, I didn't have a value for, right? Whereas I think he's the valuable one in the relationship because he knows how to plan and brings process and brings systems. And like, you know, I hand him stuff and he just handles it. He just takes care of it. And I just think, wow, what a great dude. And and he's just like, yeah, no, you come up with crazy ideas. You'll talk to anybody at any time. Like, how do you do that? And so that mutual respect, bro, it's like, it's a beautiful thing if you can find that. If you can find that. And y'all have found it, which, you know, I'm sure is a big part of how you both are successful and plan to be successful in the future with this endeavor. So a couple questions then. What would you say is the passion and the calling that lives beneath the Springs leader?
I went first last time, Vaughn. You're up.
Okay. Passion and the calling. You know, the reality is that a lot of us have just lived in not a vacuum, but in our sphere. Okay, and what we've experienced in terms of not only personal health, leadership health. You know, kind of the feeling that we're comfortable in our own skin. We know who we are. We know what our calling is, our mission in life. Sometimes that, often it's stunted. It's not fully developed. It's there under the surface. We know in part, but not in full, right? It's that idea that the more we know about ourselves, the more that we can live into that real person that God has really created us to be. And so that's what we really love doing, is helping people understand how they're wired, their uniqueness in life, where their position not only might be in their company or where they are in life, but just how to grow that to a place where they feel like they're a leader. So many people, I talk to a lot of people, and they don't feel like they're a leader. They feel like they're a follower because somebody else at work, you know, they have a boss. But the reality is we leave a wake behind us, a leadership wake, and it can either be positive or negative, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of times we work in not healthy or toxic. I think that word is a little bit overused, but toxic workplaces. Sometimes we can even go home to a home that just doesn't feel like you're walking into peace and love and surrounded by people who have your back. But even at home, you might walk into a place that has conflict in it, unresolved conflict, conflict that you don't know how to deal with. And so that's what we do. That's our superpowers. That's what we love. Our passion is to help people know themselves so they can lead themselves so that they can lead others better.
All right, say that again, that last part. Know themselves, so they say that again, what that was.
I'll let Carlos do it.
Okay.
It's know yourself so you can lead yourself, right? Because how do you lead others if you can't lead yourself, right? And just to add to Vaughn's already amazing answer, it's what is it like on the other side of you as a leader, as a father, as a friend, right? So many people don't know what it's like on the other side of them. So we help you understand your patterns. We help you understand some tendencies that you might have that are undermining your influence, right? Because sometimes we say one thing and then what we show undermines who we are and what we really want. So if we can show you what it's like on the other side of you, if we can hold that mirror up to you and show the broccoli in your teeth, that's what we're here for, right? To show the broccoli, to give you some floss, and to make sure that you're never caught with something in your mouth again, right?
Yes. All right. So for the person that you're talking to, let's say that I am undermining my influence. Let's say I'm one of those people that's under, and I don't want to, but let's say that I am, but I don't necessarily know it yet. I haven't necessarily diagnosed it yet, right? What are some things that could be happening in my life? Some indicators, some red flags that I might be undermining my own influence and I need help.
I would say silence. When people start bringing you their problems, that's a problem, right? That means that they don't trust you enough to either fix it or to change it, right? So I would say silence. If your kid's not talking to you, if your spouse isn't talking to you, if your coworkers, if your teammates aren't bringing you the problems that they used to before, that's a big issue.
Dang, I like that one. That gets right to the heart, right? Like are people feeling safe to tell you their problems, their issues, even if they're with you, right? Like that's a thing, to be able to tell somebody an issue, to tell me an issue that you have with me. You got to feel pretty safe to do that.
Right.
Most people won't do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's good stuff. What else, Vaughn? What would you say? Is there any other indicators of somebody who's maybe undermining their influence and they don't know it yet?
Well, actually, I'll just bring up one of our diagnostic tools that we use. It's called the Peace Index, and it's just a way to kind of evaluate where you are personally. If you have when you wake up in the morning and you're not really you're unsettled. If you go to bed on as you're preparing for a Monday morning on Sunday night, if you have the Sunday blues, if there's some tightness in your gut when you need to walk into a meeting, for instance, and you know that there's some tension or even outright conflict with somebody else in the room, one of our diagnostic tools is just to be able to, on a scale of 1 to 100, how am I feeling about the purpose in my life? Am I really dialed in, or am I just calling it in? How do I feel about the people in my life? Do I have good relationships with the people in my life, or are they strained? How do I feel about the place that I live and where I go and my community? Are these good, peaceful places? Am I excited to go into work because of the environment that I'm in? You just rank yourself on a 1 to 100 scale for that. And physical health, we talked about this a little bit before we got on. How are we feeling about our body? How are we feeling about our mind? How are we feeling about our spirit? Give yourself a 1 to 100 on that. And then finally, provision. Are we living within our means? Have we really identified our needs versus our wants? Because if we're measuring our success based on whether or not we've gotten all of our wants, then we're going to be dissatisfied. But if we're measuring it based on if we've gotten everything we need, then we'll have a grateful heart, a thankful heart. That's just, That's one of the ways that we work with people. We give that to them. It's easy. You can actually do it right now. You're like, yeah, I'm a 80, 70, 50. Yeah, well, just public math. That means I'm like a 65. 65 and too great. Well, then the next time somebody asks you, how you doing? If they know the tool too, you can say, I'm a 65. Instead of, great, never better.
Yeah. That's good stuff, man. And then hearing a little bit about the story, like the calling, because I did ask you, the initial question was, what's the passion and the calling beneath this? And what I heard, I think from the answer there, is you both have had growth and transformation in the area of your own leadership, right? And so healthy things tend to propagate, right? Healthy things tend to grow and they tend to propagate. So if you found frameworks and secrets, ways of thinking, ways of being that lead to life and lead to health, then of course you want to share that with other people, because that's what healthy things do, right? Healthy things propagate. And it comes back to something that I say so many times, and I do so many interviews, and so often it comes back to this: we give the gift that we received, right? In some kinds, sometimes it sounds like this: we give the gift that we receive. That's the gift we want to give to others. Sometimes we give the gift that we wish we would have received, right? Like a lot of what I do, I look back. There's a little kid. There's me when I was 15 years old, and I'm on a bus bench in Denver, Colorado, on Colfax Street. I'm on a bus bench, and it's early morning. I'm waiting for my bus. My mom is, I've had a falling out with my mom, and I'm not living with her anymore. I'm living with my dad, and I feel alone, and I have no idea what kind of potential lives inside of me, because I don't believe in it, right? Like, I don't have any clue what kind of the future is probably going to be bad. And I think about, man, what if I might not have been able to receive it, but what if somebody older and wiser and loving had come and put their arm around me on that bench and been like, bro, you got potential. You have no idea how special you've been made, right? Like, that's what I want to do. You ask me why I do what I do. That's why I do what I do. Why did I write the superpower quest? Like, why do I coach anybody who is in front of me, whether they pay me or not? Right? It's because that's all I want to see, man. And so, like, I identify with that, right? Like, you found health, and you found some peace, and you've got these tools now that you believe in and that you're able to bring to the table. My next question for you is, who do you like to come across your doorstep? Like, who is the person that you're called to? Describe that. So some might call this your ideal client profile. But I mean, we're talking in a deeper sense than just that. Like, as far as you can discern and you can tell, who are the people that you love it when they come to you, when they come across your doorstep? Because you're like, 10 out of 10, we're going to help this person, right? Who is it?
I would say anybody who's in a leadership position that wants more, right? That wants more connection, that wants more success, that is feeling a little bit lost. Like maybe they are having great success, but they still feel a little bit empty. That's where we kind of fill in all the gaps of what you're missing. We have the right questions to ask to get you to take your own temperature, right? So I would say anybody who's in a position of leadership that wants more and really, really wants to connect with their team and the people that they love and lead.
All right. So they want to be a better leader.
Right.
Right. Which is, there's a level then of self-awareness, maybe not total self-aware, but there is a level of like, I know something ain't right.
Right.
Yeah. I've been called to be a leader, and I feel ill-equipped to be a leader.
Mm-hmm. Well,
you're going to support the heck out of that person.
Right. We like to get rid of the general, the generic, right? We like to put names to pain. We like to put names to success. We like to name things, right? Because it's easy to be like, hey, my day's not going so hot. Okay, well, why? Tell me why. What's going on? It's like, oh, well, work is amazing, but Maybe it's my kid. I'm stressed out about my kid. Like, what's keeping you up at night? And how can we name that pain to make you succeed in all areas of your life, right? From internally to everybody that comes in contact with you.
But also say that there are people who have been put into leadership positions and they're a bit frustrated because they can't get their team to gel as a team well. They can see there's conflict here and there. They might not identify that they need leadership help because it's much easier to point the finger and go, hey, that person is messed up. It's not me. So we often will work with leaders who, and we have an assessment for teams that dive down onto actual objective numbers of where you are on things like how's your team in communications and relationships and alignment and execution and capacity. So what ends up happening is the person brings us on to help with a team dynamic issue, and then inadvertently they realize, oh,
okay,
I guess I'm the problem. Not necessarily I'm the problem, but I guess I need help, right? And so then we can coach them individually or as a part of their leadership team.
So you do come in and help out with team issues, workplace issues, and then sometimes that's a segue up into helping the leader, because usually team issues, I mean, some of it at least is going to be the leader, right? And probably most of it is going to be the leader, because people follow suit with what's been set and the culture they've been led into. Yeah.
One thing we like to lead with leaders who don't think they're the problem is that there's always at least 1% of a problem that you can take ownership of.
Yes.
Yes. It's really their problem, but hey, let me raise my hand and just say, hey, I know that if I had done this, things could have gone a little differently. Now, the reality is it's more like 40 or 50, maybe even 70% their fault.
100%, dude.
But at least if we can get them to recognize 1%, then that leaves others open to lead too. Once the leader leads with a transparency issue or an honesty, that frees the team to do the same.
That's huge, man. And if there's anything that's I could circle with a red pen, I'd circle that right now, right? Because that's something with my kids too. With my kids, like, no, it's never her fault. It's always his fault. But how much is his fault? 100% is his fault, right? So I just hauled off and bust him in the head, but it's 100% his fault that I hauled off and bust him in the head, right? Like,
right.
But we're no different as adults. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so hard to own yours. And so a lot of times it is like, well, did you do anything wrong? Anything? I know it's mostly his fault, but did you do anything wrong? Yeah, I probably shouldn't have hit him. You know what I mean? Like, so it is, but I do, and in marriage, dude, huge in marriage, being able to be like, go to we fought, I'm mad, it's all her fault, right? Like, she started it. Then it's like, go and be like, and there's that scripture that's like, hey, sorry, man, you don't get to pull the little dot out of somebody else's eye till you deal with the 4x4 in your own eye.
That's
right? It's always something in you know what I mean? Like, find out what's in your eye first, then you will be able to go and have a healthy conversation with somebody else. Like, maybe they'll hear you if you like don't come back to them with a beam sticking out of your eye. Talk about healthy eyes. Right? So I love that principle, like the 1%. Like, let's acknowledge, okay, maybe it is 99% them, but what's your 1%? Did you do anything at all? It's like, well, now we open up the conversation to the thing that you actually can control, which is if it's 1% or if you're 50% of the problem or if you're 90% of the problem, that's all you can control is your part of the problem anyway. You can't control the other person. Come on, man. Did y'all hear that? Y'all hearing this? That's good stuff. That's good stuff. All right, man. So let me ask you to, if you can, to niche down a little bit for me. Like, as far as the people that tend to come to you, right? So are we talking about, this is people in the four? I know you could help anybody, but I'm trying to get a sense for like who is coming. Is it the nonprofit sector? Is it the church sector? Is it the public for-profit sector? Like, where are there any kind of sub? Can you narrow that down or niche it down at all for me?
So we are in the process of doing that, actually, and it's great to be able to help everybody, but then there's that kind of axiom: if you help everybody, then do you help anybody? And so we are working on who we love to work with most. Carlos has a background in the military. There are a ton of retired military, a ton of military contractors here, a ton of folks who are out in the public sector. I'm sorry, private sector who served, and so we'd love to. We're not going to go on base, and do anything, on base, because we have 5 bases here. Right? But we would love to serve the veteran and military community here. I think we also have a deep.
We've got a lot of that too here. I mean, especially in the Springs, we've got a lot of that, contractor type activity, like defense contractor, things like that. We've got a lot of really good companies out here with good culture.
Yes.
That sound like they kind of fit within that
government. Yep. I mean, just look at what happened a lot. We had a 3-month shutdown, and we might go into another shutdown in the next 11 days. It's hard to be a government contractor. And so that's one area. Of course, our faith is very, very important to us, and we would love to be able to niche down and serve the Christian community, the Christian nonprofit, the church, the congregation who, unfortunately, sometimes churches are not very healthy, and we would love to be able to be, we would love to be able to come in and help with communications and relationships and alignment for believers.
I think that's incredibly helpful for the people that are watching this to know when to dial your number, right? And so what I hear is you do have this military fluency, right? This military, and I don't like just know. I'm not like just like I know a dozen people that do this for military adjacent entities in Colorado Springs. You know what I mean? Like that is pretty unique, right? Like as far as my circle. People, and I've got a pretty wide circle. So just knowing like, hey, it's funny because even as you said that, I've got somebody that comes to mind as a potential person for you to help.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And so that's good to know. And then also knowing that you're exploring the Christian faith, nonprofit church, bringing this because there are a lot of organizations that have a need for the kind of health and awareness and alignment that you're describing. And so I hope, you find more success in that realm. So as we're starting to wrap up our time together, my last question has to do with your dreams and your goals. And again, this is, this movement is all about activating each other on behalf of each other. Right. And so it's funny because people tell me their dreams all the time. And because I ask all the time. and there's this innate posture within me. When somebody tells me their dream, I'm like, I want to help you make that happen. If I can help you make it happen, I'm going to help you make it happen. Right. If I know somebody or if I have a piece of knowledge for you, or if there's a podcast you should watch or whatever, I think people and the kind of community we're building is like that. It's people like that. Y'all are like that, right? Like you're people of generosity and growth and excellence. And so yeah, empower us on your behalf by letting us know your dreams. And again, let's start with your individual dreams, and then let's move into your dreams together as the Springs leader.
I'll let you go.
I'll go first on this one. Thank you. I knew you would. Right. So mine is all about connecting men and boys with their emotions, helping them understand that vulnerability is a strength. I've deployed to, a whole bunch of different combat zones. I've seen the toughest men rub some dirt on their emotions, on their wounds, and then they come back and they kind of fall apart. And then I've seen, I've had leaders that are very vulnerable and willing to help and take care. And then I have people that are insecure, and being able to help young boys and men find out the strength in being a young man and a man. That it's beautiful. We all have something to do, right? And being able to empower them. Divorce rate is up. The majority of the time, young men end up living with their mothers, and then they miss out on something. So connecting with them, with their purpose and the masculinity and the beauty of it, it's really important to me.
Are there areas where you're getting to do that right now?
Well, I coach at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so being able to talk to all those young men, I teach at the Renzo Gracie East, and being able to teach with those young men, and I have moms that they're like, hey, I really want my son to be strong, to be able to put his emotions into words. He has all this energy, and I just need to get it through. And I tell you, I've been coaching for the last 10 years. There's nothing more vulnerable than somebody who just physically exerted themselves, and then they're sitting there, and then you ask them, hey man, like, how you feeling? Like there's not enough energy to hide it anymore.
Yes.
And then they open up and they tell you everything. So it's been beautiful to be able to do that on the mats, right? After a nice good roll, after either you give me humble pie or I give you humble pie, or we just meet somewhere in the middle, to be able to express how you truly feel, it really is liberating.
Dude, I identify with that so much, dude. I love, and you lit up as you were talking about that. Like that's special, dude. That's deep calling. Yeah, I remember. So part of my origin story is I had a poetry teacher named Antonio Vigil, and this brother changed my life with that very lesson. I'm coming into college, had a kind of a rough upbringing. I kind of hate myself. I'm kind of emotionally stunted. You're where I come from. You're not supposed to share your feelings. That's weakness. Vulnerability is weakness. Like vulnerability. Why would you be vulnerable when everybody's trying to get you? Right? And this brother, man, I'll never forget, man. He was like, I'd written these different assignments for him, and he took me into his office. He was like, the next thing you write, it needs to be real. Like, you need to write it to me from your heart. You're going to write me a poem. You're going to write it from your heart. It's going to be real. That's the next thing you write. And he had credibility with me, man. And so I sure did, dude. I wrote this poem called Mama's Cross, which was about my relationship with my mom. And I poured out everything. I'd never done. And I was like, dang, I didn't know writing could be this. Like, I didn't know. I didn't know it could be a place to tell the truth about what you're feeling and to be vulnerable. And I don't know it was okay to be vulnerable. And so let me tell you what happened. I come to class. This brother says, all right, Johnny, I want you to read this out loud. Not only did I have to do that, he said, I want you to read this to the class. So I read it to the class. I look up. This brother has tears in his eyes. This tough, kind of cholo-looking teacher has tears in his eyes, man. And it changed me. It changed me because it was like, that's the invitation. It was the invitation that I never heard before, which is you can say what's really going on in your heart. You can be vulnerable, and in being vulnerable, you can move the people around you. And I was like, I will do that forever. I haven't changed. I have not changed trajectory since that point in college. I don't know, freshman, sophomore year in college. Vulnerability is strength. Now I know that. But I had to have somebody guide me into that, and that's what you do. You guide young men into that, which I just deeply appreciate, bro. I deeply appreciate it.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
All right, so Vaughn, tell me a little bit about yours.
I don't know if I can. I got a tear.
Yeah.
Frog in my throat.
It got me. Nah, dude. I've shed many tears on that topic. Yeah.
So it's similar but different. My passion really is for the family. Family is so important, and the family has basically been disintegrated over the last 5, 6, 7 decades or so.
Yeah.
It didn't happen just like that, but it's a reality. And we're a homeschooling family. And we've got 5 kids, and we've poured our lives really into family. And what's really neat about this stage in our life is that we have kids that have been launched and kids still at home.
Yeah.
And we're watching now our older kids really start their own families. So just got word, 2 weeks ago that my oldest proposed to his girlfriend, and so we're going to have another wedding, which is really, really exciting. But the idea behind it is that, we live a different lifestyle from a vast majority of even the Christian world. And sometimes it's very hard, but because we live that life differently, we stand out. And I just want to, everybody can, right?
Yes.
Everybody can stand out in some way. And so we love to be able to come alongside families. My wife and I love to come alongside families and just help them find their distinctive so that they can shine the light of Jesus wherever they are.
All right, man. I'm okay. I know a brother that has created something called Family OS.
Really?
Which is basically taking the principles of EOS and applying them. You familiar with EOS?
I am, yeah.
And applying them to building the family. I mean, anyway, and that's not the only one. I know there probably is a little pond for you to be swimming in.
Great. Excellent.
Of people that are trying to do something similar as far as the rebuilding and the strengthening of the family. Because I believe that you said that as not only a calling to your own family, but a sense of calling to the greater culture at large, or helping other people get that same traction within their family by understanding their family identity. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's awesome, man. Dude, I got some heavy hitters for y'all today. Come on. I'm trying to change the world, bro. I'm trying to change the world on a Tuesday. So Vaughn or Carlos or both, both at the same time if y'all want to get crazy. What is the dream for the Springs leader?
I think when you take both of our dreams, we're able to impact the Springs leader in just that manner, right? Being married for 20 something years, don't tell my wife I said something, but having 5 children, 4 daughters, 2 grandchildren on the way, like we understand what it's like to be leaders. We understand what it's like to be fathers, husbands, friends, just people, human beings, right? So when we take the things that we love and we live into our passion and our purpose, we can't go wrong, right? So the Springs leader is empowering us to empower you to be the best version of yourself, right? That's my interpretation. Vaughn, what do you got?
Yeah, and also just it's a process. You can't fix your problems or whatever overnight. I've been on this journey for about 5, 6, 7 years, something like that. The person I was then and the person I am today are totally different. And the person that I'm going to be in 5, 6, 7, 8 years from now, I can't even imagine what it's going to be like and the kinds of people that I've been able to influence along the way. And so we offer that both on a paid and free platform. We run daily classes during the week that are free. They're 20 minutes. We call them Fix the Friction, simply because a lot of the problems in our lives are not big, hairy objects that are like too big to tackle. They're just the everyday, like us rubbing against one another, causing a little bit more friction and heat and conflict. If we can fix that small little friction daily, then that's when you see transformation. That's what we really want to see. We want to see people transformed to be different people. We want to see families transformed. We want to see businesses, teams, organizations, churches. We want to see that transformation. Now, we're not going to see it overnight. And that's unfortunately a byproduct of the culture that we live in, instant gratification. You've got to be willing to lean into this for 5, 6, 7, a decade, 2 decades, and be willing to be on your knees praying that whole time. Lord, make me into the person that you want me to be. Help me lead the people that I am leading. Be the people that you want them to be. Help us together. We don't live in isolation. Help us together transform this city. Colorado Springs needs the Lord. Colorado Springs has this, people think of it as a Christian city. It's not.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah.
It's about as pagan as Denver is, and people need to hear the word, but they need to see Christians living their life differently. And so if that's the kind of transformation we could make in the next year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, here in the Springs, that's what we're looking for.
I love it, man. I really appreciated having you both on the show. I respect you both. I love the calling that's on your life. And then I look forward to being able to collaborate with you in some way, or for you to be able to collaborate with other people in this community in some way, to move you forward so that you can do more of the good work that you're doing. But I appreciate you both. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for
Appreciate
having
you,
us.
Johnny, man.
For everybody who's been with us up to this point, thanks for watching to the end. And I'm going to keep bringing you dynamic people of a spirit of generosity, a growth mindset, and then an area of genius, and people of deep faith. I'm just going to keep bringing you these folks because you never know. You might just have met, the person that's going to change your life. The next person you meet might be the person that's changing your life. And that happens more often when we're finding people of integrity and excellence to lock arms with. Then lives get changed and progress gets made and God gets glorified and things happen in the kingdom that nobody could ever have imagined, because we serve a God of multiplication, man, not addition. Anyway, everybody, thank you for joining us today. And we will see you next time. Take it easy.
Take care, everybody.